Ladies and gentlemen, today we will embark on a journey of transformation, a path to cultivating the habits that define a truly high-value woman. These are not mere traits, they are ways of living that, when embraced consistently, elevate not only how the world perceives you, but, most importantly, how you perceive yourself. Let us dive into the 10 essential habits. Self-respect and personal standards form the very foundation of a high-value woman's identity. Without these, no external accomplishments or surface-level achievements can truly elevate a person's worth. At its core, self-respect means recognizing your inherent value and living every day in a way that honors that recognition. It requires a deep understanding of who you are, what you believe in, and what you are unwilling to compromise on, even in the face of external pressures or temptations. When a woman possesses self-respect, it radiates silently but powerfully in everything she does. It shows in the way she dresses, the way she speaks, the way she makes decisions, and even in the way she allows others to treat her. She does not need to announce her standards. They are evident through her behavior and presence. Her life becomes a reflection of her self-worth, and because she respects herself, others are naturally inclined to respect her as well. Building strong personal standards requires conscious effort. It begins with knowing your values. What do you stand for? What qualities do you want to be known for? What behaviors are absolutely unacceptable to you? These questions form the bedrock of your personal code. Once this inner framework is clear, decision-making becomes much easier. You no longer second-guess yourself when faced with choices that are misaligned with your values. You simply walk away from what does not serve you. For example, a woman with strong personal standards does not stay in relationships that erode her self-esteem. She does not tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or inconsistency. She does not make excuses for people who continually cross her boundaries. Instead, she understands that saying no is not an act of cruelty, but an act of self-love. She knows that every time she allows unacceptable behavior, she sends a message to herself and to the world that she is willing to settle for less than she deserves, and she refuses to send that message. Personal standards also govern how a woman treats herself. It is not enough to expect others to honor you. You must first honor yourself. This means taking care of your body with proper nutrition, exercise, and rest. It means nurturing your mind through continual learning and mental discipline. It means managing your finances wisely so you are not vulnerable or dependent. It means setting goals for your future and taking consistent action to achieve them rather than waiting for someone else to rescue or complete you. Self-respect demands that you treat yourself as the valuable, worthy individual you are, not just in words, but in everyday actions. A high-value woman understands that her standards are not negotiable based on circumstances or feelings. She does not lower them because she is lonely, bored, or seeking approval. She realizes that temporary discomfort is far better than the long-term pain of betraying herself. In difficult moments, her standards act as her compass, guiding her back to her highest self even when the easier path would be to settle or compromise. Moreover, having strong personal standards does not mean being rigid, arrogant, or judgmental toward others. It means holding yourself to a level of excellence while extending grace and compassion to those around you. It means understanding that everyone is on their own journey, but that you are responsible for curating your environment to support your growth. You can love and forgive people without allowing them to occupy space in your inner circle if they do not align with your standards. Living with self-respect often requires courage. Society often pressures women to be accommodating, agreeable, and self-sacrificing, sometimes to the point of self-abandonment. A high-value woman challenges these norms by embodying a new model, one of empowered grace. She understands that saying yes to herself sometimes requires saying no to others, and she is prepared to do so without guilt. Another important aspect of maintaining strong personal standards is emotional discipline. A woman with high self-respect does not allow herself to be easily triggered, manipulated, or provoked. She knows that her reactions are within her control, and she does not give her power away by losing composure. Her emotional responses are measured and thoughtful because she values her peace and her dignity above winning arguments or gaining momentary satisfaction. Self-respect also influences the types of goals a high-value woman sets for herself. She is not motivated solely by external validation, money, status, or applause. Instead, her ambitions are rooted in personal fulfillment and authentic contribution. She pursues excellence not because she needs to prove her worth, but because she knows she is worthy and desires to live up to her highest potential. Every project she undertakes, every room she enters, every relationship she nurtures reflects this inner confidence. As she continues to uphold her standards over time, a transformation occurs. She becomes less easily impressed and more deeply fulfilled. She seeks experiences, relationships, and achievements that align with her vision of a meaningful, abundant life. She no longer fears solitude because she enjoys her own company. She no longer fears rejection because she knows that losing what is not meant for her clears the way for what is. In conclusion, self-respect and personal standards are the silent architects of a high-value woman's life. They shape her identity, protect her from harm, and position her for true happiness and success. They require discipline, courage, and a deep commitment to personal integrity. But the rewards are immeasurable, a life of purpose, freedom, and fulfillment that no one can take away. When a woman chooses to live by her highest standards, she becomes magnetic, powerful, and truly unstoppable, not because of how she looks or what she owns, but because of who she has chosen to become. Continuous personal development is one of the most defining habits of a high-value woman. It is the conscious, lifelong commitment to growth, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically. A high-value woman understands that no matter how much she has achieved, there is always room for improvement. She does not see self-development as a chore, but as a privilege and a responsibility to herself. Her life is a constant evolution, not because she is dissatisfied, but because she is deeply invested in becoming the best version of herself. Personal development begins with cultivating a growth mindset. A high-value woman believes that abilities, intelligence, and talents can be developed with effort, learning, and persistence. She welcomes challenges because she understands that each one offers an opportunity to strengthen her character. She does not fear failure because she knows that mistakes are not a reflection of her worth, but stepping stones toward mastery and wisdom. This mindset allows her to approach life with curiosity and resilience, always seeking to learn from every experience. Lifelong learning is a central part of her journey. A high-value woman is an avid reader, an attentive listener, and an enthusiastic student of life. She invests time in reading books on a wide range of subjects: literature, history, psychology, finance, philosophy, art, and more. She does not limit herself to areas she is already comfortable with, but intentionally explores topics that expand her world view. She engages in meaningful conversations, attends seminars, pursues certifications, or learns new languages. Her thirst for knowledge keeps her mind sharp, her perspectives broad, and her confidence grounded in real substance. Beyond intellectual development, she also works on emotional growth. She takes the time to reflect on her own emotions, patterns, and triggers. She practices self-awareness, recognizing that personal healing is an essential part of development. A high-value woman may engage in therapy, journaling, meditation, or mentorship to enhance her emotional intelligence. She learns to navigate relationships with empathy, authenticity, and maturity, understanding that emotional skills are as critical as academic knowledge when it comes to leading a fulfilling life. Physical development is another important aspect. A high-value woman recognizes that her body is the vehicle through which she experiences the world, and she treats it with respect. She prioritizes fitness, nutrition, and self-care not out of vanity, but out of love for herself. She understands the connection between physical vitality and overall well-being. She seeks balance rather than extremes, building sustainable habits that support her energy, appearance, and inner strength. Spiritual development often becomes a cornerstone as well, whether through organized religion, meditation, or a personal philosophy of life. A high-value woman seeks a connection with something greater than herself. She reflects on her purpose, her values, and the legacy she wishes to leave behind. This spiritual grounding provides her with inner peace and resilience in the face of life's inevitable uncertainties. An important feature of her development journey is that she does not wait for external permission to invest in herself. She does not wait for the perfect time or the ideal situation to start improving. She takes initiative. Whether she has ample resources or limited means, she finds ways to enrich her mind and soul every day. Free online courses, public libraries, community workshops, and consistent self-discipline are tools she uses creatively to keep advancing. She understands that true personal development is not about expensive programs or certifications. It's about commitment, resourcefulness, and consistency. The high-value woman also sets personal goals and tracks her growth. She defines what success looks like for her, not based on societal expectations, but based on her own aspirations and dreams. She understands the power of vision and strategy. She breaks her goals into actionable steps and monitors her progress regularly. She celebrates milestones with gratitude while keeping her eyes open for new areas of improvement. Every goal she pursues is not just about achievement, but about transformation, becoming wiser, more capable, more refined. Mentorship and community play significant roles in her development journey. A high-value woman seeks out mentors who inspire her, challenge her, and model the qualities she admires. She is humble enough to learn from others and confident enough to apply what she learns in her own unique way. She also surrounds herself with a community of growth-oriented individuals, people who support her ambitions, hold her accountable, and encourage her evolution. She avoids environments that breed stagnation or negativity because she knows that her surroundings deeply influence her trajectory. Importantly, she embraces the idea of seasons in personal development. She understands that growth is not linear. There are seasons of rapid progress and seasons of rest and integration. She honors both. She gives herself grace when the pace slows down, trusting that periods of reflection and stillness are as essential as times of action and achievement. This self-compassion allows her to stay motivated and prevents burnout. In the process of continuous development, a high-value woman becomes a source of inspiration to others, not by preaching, but by embodying what she has learned. Her life becomes her message. People are drawn to her not only because of what she knows, but because of how she lives, with intention, integrity, and a spirit of excellence. She does not develop herself for validation or comparison, but out of a deep sense of purpose and personal responsibility. Continuous personal development shapes her into a woman of extraordinary character and competence. She becomes adaptable in the face of change, resilient under pressure, wise in her decisions, and generous in her interactions. Her growth benefits not only herself, but also everyone she touches: family, friends, colleagues, and even strangers. She becomes a force for good, an example of what is possible when one commits to the lifelong adventure of becoming their best self. In conclusion, continuous personal development is not a phase or a project. It is a lifestyle. It is the deliberate choice every day to invest in one's mind, heart, body, and spirit. It is the decision to evolve, to expand, and to elevate, regardless of the circumstances. A high-value woman embraces this journey with joy, humility, and unwavering dedication, knowing that every step she takes toward growth brings her closer to her fullest potential. A high-value woman understands the immense influence that relationships have over the course of her life. She does not view relationships casually or treat the people around her as placeholders to fill her time. Instead, she is deliberate and discerning about who she allows into her inner circle. She knows that the people she associates with either elevate her journey or hinder her progress, and she takes this reality seriously. Selectivity in relationships is not about arrogance or exclusion. It is about maintaining a standard that protects her peace, nurtures her growth, and honors her values. From friendships to romantic partnerships, from professional networks to casual acquaintances, every relationship she maintains is chosen with care. She recognizes early on that energy is contagious, and the attitudes, habits, and mindsets of those around her inevitably affect her own. If she surrounds herself with negative, small-minded, or destructive individuals, no matter how resilient she is, it will eventually erode her spirit. Conversely, surrounding herself with ambitious, kind, respectful, and growth-oriented people amplifies her own journey toward excellence. Being selective means she does not chase validation or acceptance. She is not desperate to fit into every social group or gain the approval of others. She does not fear solitude because she knows that it is better to walk alone for a while than to walk in the wrong company. She values quality over quantity when it comes to her relationships. A few loyal, inspiring, and supportive connections are infinitely more valuable to her than a large circle of superficial acquaintances. When entering any relationship, she observes actions more than words. She understands that true character reveals itself over time and under pressure. She does not rush to trust or to bond deeply with people she barely knows. She gives herself the time and space to truly understand someone's intentions, consistency, and values before allowing them close access to her life. Her intuition is sharp, but she backs it with wisdom and discernment, ensuring that she does not mistake charm for character or potential for reality. In friendships, a high-value woman seeks reciprocity. She gives love, support, and loyalty generously, but she expects the same in return. She does not tolerate one-sided relationships where she is constantly giving without receiving anything of substance back. She identifies red flags early, such as gossip, betrayal, manipulation, envy, and emotional inconsistency, and distances herself from such dynamics. She chooses friends who inspire her, who celebrate her wins without jealousy, who offer honest but kind feedback, and who uplift her during challenging times. These friendships become a sacred part of her life, sources of encouragement, joy, and mutual growth. In romantic relationships, her standards are equally clear. She does not settle for attention or superficial gestures. She seeks a partnership rooted in mutual respect, shared values, and aligned visions for the future. She chooses partners who respect her individuality, support her goals, and contribute positively to her emotional well-being. She avoids relationships that are built on neediness, control, or drama because she understands that love should add to her life, not diminish it. A high-value woman requires emotional maturity, integrity, and consistency from her romantic partners, and she is prepared to walk away if these standards are not met. Professionally, she is equally mindful. She networks with individuals who demonstrate professionalism, ambition, and ethical behavior. She avoids environments that breed toxicity, gossip, or unethical practices. She seeks mentors who embody the qualities she aspires to develop, and she mentors others in turn, creating a cycle of positive influence and empowerment. Her professional relationships are not merely transactional, but built on genuine respect and mutual benefit. Being selective also requires a high degree of self-awareness. The high-value woman knows that she must embody the same qualities she seeks in others. She does not demand loyalty, kindness, or respect from others if she is not willing to offer it herself. She constantly works on being a trustworthy, positive, and inspiring presence in the lives of those around her. Her selectivity is not a one-sided expectation, but a mutual standard she holds herself to just as firmly. This discernment extends beyond people to the environments and cultures she engages with. She is mindful of the groups, communities, and even the social media spaces she participates in. If a particular environment promotes negativity, shallow values, or toxic competition, she gracefully removes herself, understanding that her surroundings deeply influence her mindset and emotions. She intentionally cultivates a world around her that reflects her highest aspirations and deepest values. Choosing to be selective in relationships inevitably means facing moments of loneliness, especially when she distances herself from unhealthy connections. However, she views loneliness not as a void, but as a sacred opportunity for reflection, self-growth, and alignment. She uses these periods to deepen her self-knowledge, strengthen her independence, and recalibrate her goals. She understands that temporary solitude is far more empowering than long-term entanglement in relationships that drain her spirit or diminish her worth. Moreover, a high-value woman practices forgiveness but not naivety. She does not hold grudges or harbor bitterness, but she learns her lessons and sets firmer boundaries when necessary. She can forgive someone for their mistakes without inviting them back into her life if trust has been broken. Forgiveness for her is an act of liberation, freeing herself from resentment while maintaining her standards for future interactions. Her selective approach to relationships enhances every area of her life. She is more focused because she is not weighed down by drama or negativity. She is more peaceful because her inner circle is filled with trust and positivity. She is more successful because her network supports her dreams rather than sabotaging them. And most importantly, she is more fulfilled because every relationship in her life contributes to her journey toward becoming her highest self. In conclusion, being selective with relationships is not an act of judgment. It is an act of self-respect. It reflects a deep understanding that the people we allow into our lives are extensions of ourselves, influencing our thoughts, emotions, and outcomes. A high-value woman honors herself by choosing relationships that uplift, inspire, and support her, knowing that by curating her connections wisely, she protects her peace, accelerates her growth, and enriches her life in ways that are both profound and lasting. Feminine elegance and presentation are not superficial concerns for a high-value woman. They are a reflection of how she values herself and how she chooses to interact with the world. Elegance is not about extravagance or chasing trends. It is about embodying grace, confidence, and timeless beauty in a way that feels authentic. The way a woman presents herself communicates volumes before she even speaks. Her style, her posture, her grooming, and her demeanor all tell a story about her level of self-respect, attention to detail, and emotional poise. Well, hi, Val. You woman understands that how she shows up visually and energetically affects not only how others perceive her, but also how she feels about herself. Dressing well is not an act done for the approval of others. It is an act of self-respect. It signals that she values her presence and that she is intentional about the image she projects. She invests time in choosing clothing that flatters her unique body shape, enhances her natural beauty, and suits the occasion. She avoids extremes, too flashy, too revealing, or too sloppy, and instead favors a polished, refined aesthetic that communicates sophistication. Her wardrobe is built thoughtfully. Rather than chasing fast fashion or every passing trend, she focuses on quality over quantity. She prefers garments that are well-made, versatile, and timeless. She understands the power of neutral colors, clean lines, and classic silhouettes. She pays attention to fit and tailoring because she knows that even the most expensive garment will look unremarkable if it does not fit well. Accessories are chosen with care, enhancing her outfit rather than overwhelming it. Every detail, from her shoes to her jewelry to her handbag, is selected to create a cohesive and elegant impression. Grooming is another essential element of her presentation. A high-value woman takes care of her skin, hair, nails, and overall hygiene. She understands that elegance lies in the details, the neatness of her hairstyle, the softness of her skin, the cleanliness of her nails. She does not rely on heavy makeup to mask her natural features, but uses it strategically to enhance her beauty subtly. Her beauty routine is not about conforming to unrealistic standards, but about celebrating and maintaining her natural radiance. Beyond appearance, her body language also communicates elegance. She moves with poise and intentionality. She maintains good posture, walks gracefully, and uses gestures that are controlled and expressive without being exaggerated. She makes eye contact, offers genuine smiles, and speaks in a calm, clear, and pleasant tone. She listens attentively and engages thoughtfully in conversation. Through her behavior, she exudes an energy of warmth, confidence, and respect for herself and others. Her feminine elegance also extends to the way she handles social situations. A high-value woman is polite, considerate, and socially aware. She practices good manners not as a performance, but as a reflection of her inner values. She says please and thank you. She acknowledges the presence of others, and she carries herself with humility and kindness. Even in challenging situations, she maintains her composure, addressing issues with tact rather than aggression. She understands that true elegance is not just about appearances, it is about character. Elegance in communication is another area she masters. She chooses her words carefully, avoiding gossip, vulgarity, or negativity. She speaks thoughtfully, aiming to uplift and inspire rather than criticize or belittle. She understands the power of silence and does not feel the need to fill every moment with words. Her communication style is assertive yet gentle, clear yet respectful. Whether she is writing an email, participating in a meeting, or engaging in casual conversation, she leaves a positive, lasting impression through her eloquence and authenticity. The high-value woman also curates her environment to reflect her commitment to elegance. Her home is clean, organized, and welcoming, even if it is modest. Her workspace is neat and inspiring. She surrounds herself with beauty and order because she understands that her environment affects her mindset and energy. She cultivates a lifestyle of grace where aesthetics and functionality work together to support her highest self. Importantly, feminine elegance is not about striving for perfection. A high value woman embraces her individuality and allows her unique personality to shine through her presentation. She understands that true elegance comes from authenticity, not from rigid conformity. She honors her heritage, her tastes, and her personal story through her style choices. She evolves her presentation over time, allowing it to reflect her growth, maturity, and evolving sense of self. The motivation behind her commitment to elegance is deeply personal. She does not dress beautifully, speak kindly, or move gracefully merely for the sake of external validation. She does it because it brings her joy, because it strengthens her sense of identity, and because it aligns with her vision of the woman she aspires to be. Elegance for her is an act of self-expression and self-care, a way of living that nourishes her soul. Another important aspect is that she does not allow societal stereotypes to limit her expression of femininity. She understands that femininity is powerful, multifaceted, and deeply personal. Some days her expression may be soft and romantic. Other days it may be bold and sophisticated. She is not afraid to be dynamic, to show different facets of her femininity depending on her mood, her goals, and her environment. What remains consistent is her commitment to being intentional, thoughtful, and true to herself. In cultivating feminine elegance and refined presentation, a high-value woman naturally attracts opportunities, connections, and experiences that resonate with her highest values. She creates a personal brand that speaks before she even utters a word. She moves through the world with ease and grace, commanding respect not through force, but through presence. Her elegance is not confined to special occasions. It is woven into the fabric of her everyday life, enriching every interaction and experience. In conclusion, feminine elegance and presentation are powerful expressions of self-respect, authenticity, and intentional living. They are not about vanity or artificiality, but about creating a life that feels as beautiful on the outside as it does on the inside. A high-value woman embraces elegance not as an obligation, but as an art form, using it to communicate her values, honor her worth, and elevate her journey toward her highest self. In closing, becoming a high-value woman is not about perfection, comparison, or seeking external validation. It is a lifelong commitment to living with intentionality, self-respect, and purpose. By cultivating strong self-worth, investing continuously in personal development, choosing relationships with discernment, and embodying feminine elegance and presentation, a woman creates a life that reflects her highest values and deepest aspirations. Each habit reinforces the others, creating a foundation that empowers her to navigate life with confidence, wisdom, and grace. She becomes not only a source of inspiration for others, but, most importantly, a source of fulfillment and pride for herself. This journey is deeply personal and uniquely beautiful for every woman who embarks on it. Remember, being a high-value woman is not a final destination to reach, but a way of being that evolves with time, experiences, and growth. It is about choosing every day to live with excellence, compassion, and authenticity. In doing so, you not only elevate your own life, but positively impact everyone you encounter. You become a light, steady, powerful, and profoundly valuable, not because of what you have, but because of who you are.